In this video, we are going to be discussing the most important news for rec players that just came out today. Okay, shout out to Zach Timmerman for letting us know. I was literally, the game you guys are watching in the background, I actually played that game today. I was playing this live on stream and I was just getting constantly sold. So I was actually going to make a separate video, talking about the last time. I'm going to, rant about rec randoms, heading into 2K24 and what 2K can do to help fix this stuff. And then Zach put out a tweet today, basically answering all our questions. He basically put out a tweet, curious your thoughts. What should matter more for badge progression? We'll start with the rec, teammate grade. Now, currently in the rec, there's a A grade that will give you a 25% boost. And also, basically, when you win, you get a 10% boost, and if you lose, you can take a 5% hit. So essentially, the key thing here is teammate grade is going to determine a lot of your badge progression. Now, the one thing they didn't talk about, I was very, very curious to know though, was the legend grind, okay? What is going to determine the legend grind? And I still think it's going to be the same system. I still think the system of A+ or the teammate grade is going to help boost your progression towards legend. Now, what does this mean? I mean, this, for example, it solves a lot of issues. I mean, this hopefully should mean that randoms are going to be encouraged to play a little bit better. That's the one thing I would like to say. Okay, cool, you need your teammate grade. I don't want to play bad, because if I play bad, I'm gonna have bad teammate grade. I won't be able to get my badge progression. I won't be able to rep up. So hopefully this is gonna encourage randoms, but we all know randoms. We all know how they're like. They're still going to play bad. What are some of the implications for this? Again, like I said, a lot of players that complain about randoms, this just allows you to focus on yourself, okay? Just focus on you getting your teammate grade and getting out of there, okay? And it's going to help you get your badge progression, and hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping that this is also going to be the same as the legend grind, where you actually rep up a lot. Now, there are obviously consequences to this. There are downsides to this, because unfortunately for some of you guys, as you guys can see in the background right here, randoms just constantly selling. And unfortunately for some of you guys are going to make builds that aren't made to get A or A+ teammate grades. For example, I'll tell you a build, a pure sharpshooter at the 2, okay? If you're playing with rec randoms, obviously if you have a squad as a pure sharpshooter, this is not a problem at all, because obviously you and your team can play well, you can get dotted and everything else. But if you're playing with rec randoms, you're gonna find it very difficult to get open. Guys are gonna be guarding you pretty tight, and you might not get a lot of shots, so you're not gonna get a lot of badge progression. That's one. And two, because your build is pure sharp, that basically means you don't have a lot of defense, so you don't have anything to counter that on a defensive end to help boost your teammate grade. So this is very, very interesting, because for me, I think it's a W, because even in this game, you guys are going to see at the end of this game, I ended up finishing with the A-, and my whole team was like a B, C. So I'm still, if we're using the same logic here, I'm still going to get my badge progression. Nothing's going to really affect my gameplay, apart from the 5% hit you get, for taking the L, which isn't that big of a deal, because you get a 20% boost for your teammate grade. But yeah, so you guys need to really be careful in terms of what builds you guys are going to be making, because if you focus your entire build on just, a pure offense and no defense, and you're not being offensive, then yeah, you are going to be screwed. So my advice to a lot of you guys is, you guys will need to start thinking about perhaps making a two-way build. Okay, I think two-way build is going to be the best way to get things done. The other thing this new progression system might do is it might discourage a lot of guys making point guards, because we all know that point guards, especially the way the defense is looking this year, you are not, especially if you're playing with rec randoms, you're not going to consistently, this is very key, you're not going to consistently get A or A-, or even a B+ with rec randoms. You're going to get stripped. Guys are going to intercept your passes. Guys probably won't even finish off your assist. So you're not really going to be able to boost your teammate grade. So obviously there's always going to be the other side of the coin to everything else. Now, another thing I was going to talk about is I played 2K17, and the current badge system is very similar to 2K17. And the concern or the issue that ended up happening on 2K17 was you get a game where you have like 3 to 4 guys setting screens for the guards. And the reason for that is simply because you get your teammate grade through good screens. So a lot of people are able to boost the teammate grade via a good screen. So you see loads of people setting screens, slashers setting screens, pure sharp setting screens, and the point guard is overwhelmed. Like I said, it's going to be pretty difficult to be a point guard with rec randoms this year, or with randoms in general, because like if you're getting 4 or 5 screens, what are you supposed to do? You might get blitzed by the other team. It's easier to read some of the passes. So I do think eventually you're going to see more guys start to make centers, because in my opinion, this basically means centers are going to find it, and they're going to find an easier time to get this high teammate grade. So again, you don't have to focus too much on your whether your team wins or loses. Obviously some of you guys should still try and win the game, but at least if you lose and you get your A plus or A minus, you're there like, I did my thing, I'm out of there, leave the squad and go play with someone else. So this is a big W. Again, I'm just very concerned in terms of the other side of things, because I know a lot of people are still going to be complaining to Mike. Yo, Mike, I'm spacing the floor very well for these guys. I'm still, not getting the ball. My teammate grade or my badge progression is not going up because of X, Y, and Z. So like I said, my advice to a lot of you guys is you guys will need to start thinking of making two-way builds, okay? You need to start thinking about putting a rebound on your build, or start thinking about putting some blocks on your build. The reason for that is, even if you're not being, say you're not being used on offense, you can still have a massive impact on defense. And the more impact you have on defense, this is also going to affect your teammate grade. So again, really have to think about your builds. I would highly encourage, especially if you're a solo rec player and you want to rep up, you might not want to be a legend, or you might not want to be a high rep guy, but you still want to get good, decent rep. I would highly recommend you start thinking about making a two-way build. I already know guys are saying, I'm not going to put any defense on my build. These guys are going to struggle, especially now that, some of the guys that went to community today, they're already talking about the importance of strength on builds. So you're going to need strength on all your builds, and you're going to need defense with the badge progression system. So, let me know your thoughts in terms of how 2K is doing this. Is this a fair way of doing it? Is there a better way for doing it? I think someone in one of the, replies mentioned something about the contest system, and I'm like, that's very difficult. That's very difficult for 2K to do. I think the teammate system is one of the easiest way to get it done. I am a big fan of it, because I can focus on my gameplay, whether the randoms sell me or don't sell me. I don't have to complain too much about them. Obviously I'm still going to complain about them, but you guys get the point. I'm going to get my teammate grade, and I'm going to get out of there. I don't have to worry about those guys anymore. But like I said, there are still the other side of things to it, where guys are still going to complain to Mike Wong about, them not getting the teammate grade. There are certain builds that aren't going to be used as much in the game. So if you make a small forward and, the guard isn't passing the ball to you on offense, how are you supposed to rep up? This is what I'm trying to say to you. You need to start thinking about making a two-way build, because that way you can focus on just doing stuff on the defensive end and getting things out. Now, obviously, for all you inside bigs, this is great news. Y'all can just grab the rebounds. There is no, L1 no more, but pass it up the court, get your easy points, get your easy A plus, and you get out of there. But on the plus side, boys, at the end of the day, we got what we asked for, okay? We wanted a system that's at least going to, if we can't do anything about the randoms, at least we might be able to do something about ourselves. Because in this game that you guys just watched, for example, in the background, just a bunch of selling, I ended up losing this game, even though I didn't miss a single shot. You all can see I went 7 for 7, but my badge or my season level or whatever, it's still going to go down by quite a lot, because the game was only focusing on winning and losing. That's how the game judged your performance. So if you lose a game this year, you're going to drop a lot of levels. So it sounds like 2K have put a lot of effort into the game. They are trying the hardest. I think this is the biggest change in any 2K history in terms of listening to the community that I've ever heard coming from 2K. So again, that is a big W from them. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. What are the benefits? What are the downsides? Let me know, because I am curious to find out myself. Anyways, catch you in the next one.